Hi everyone, my daughter's been so fascinated with what's going on with all of these live videos that I brought her on camera. Say hi. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Tell everybody what you want to be when you grow up.
I want to be a spa girl when I grow up.
That's right. So, all right. I will have you go sit down, okay?
Okay.
So, I'll wait for everybody to get on watching me here. If you missed the beginning of my video, my super cute daughter has been so fascinated by these webinars that she wanted to see what was going on. So, our sugar warmers just came back into stock today, and I wanted to go over why you need a sugar warmer for sugar, ideally, because they're more like basically more of a paraffin temperature for sugars, and you want to make sure that your warmer heats at low enough temperatures. I've tried to get the perfect temperature of our original, you know, if you were going to use it for waxing. The other thing that you can do with these is you can warm your sugar slightly. Also, there's a coupon code for $10 off for as many warmers as you need, and it's only for 48 hours. So I decided, instead of just posting about it, that I'd go live and demo the warmer for you and kind of show you when it arrives what's going to come in your box and what temperatures, what numbers, you know, to use. This is extremely low heat, remember, and just like wax, you need to give it some time to warm up. So this is the warmer itself. Let me see, we've got a short cord, or a short extension that I've got it attached to, but they have a nice handle, and the jars fit flush in here, you know, with the exception of a tiny bit of space where there's not going to be any sugar. And I tried to set this up so you can see my little SMA area. If I can keep myself covered, I might work on my upper leg for a minute. So what's going to arrive in your box, let me see, I've got the box under here for you, is your box. This one, I took this one out, but this is what your sugar warmer is going to arrive in, and it's going to come with a couple of pieces. So these are your little safety manual, and these are all the pieces that it's going to come with. So the bottom of this actually is not attached when it arrives. Excuse me if this takes a second. So it clicks on when it arrives. So that's the first thing you need to do, is put the bottom on. And I'm not looking here, I'm trying to do this by feeling. There we go. There's the little area. And then it locks in, okay? And then the other pieces that come with this are, this is what your sugar is going to go in, okay? So it's completely flush, and then it has this other heating compartment, but this compartment's not designed to not have this piece inside. And this is not going to be attached either. Some people actually prefer to leave the wax collar off. This is actually kind of cool because it's got all of these different options as far as having a wax collar you can clean, and it clean up real easy with water, with sugar. And then you can also put it in without the wax collar. This little piece you're not going to use. This is just in case you had wax inside this compartment, and you can, you know, scrape your wax warmer there. This is the closest fit we could get with our jars, and unfortunately when the jar is in there, you're going to lose this little feature. So just be sure to remove this, keep this to the side, and then if this thing is hot, use the handle to put it back in, okay? And you can either leave it so you can put cover with the lid like this when you're not using the warmer, or you can put your wax collar on. It just clicks in. I'd actually recommend potentially putting the wax collar on because of the way that everything fits together. You're not going to use this to cover your sugar. Your sugar, you're going to experience moisture loss with your sugar if you're not snapping your lid down. So keep this around if you want to kind of just cover it and make it look all neat and nice. Look at the top of my post. I put a link. I'm getting some questions. I put a link to the warmer, and I put a coupon code in the store for $10 off. That's good for 48 hours just for this live demo. Yay! People ask me about sugar warmers all the time because they're different than wax warmers. If you have a high quality wax warmer that'll heat at ultra low temperatures, then you can use a wax warmer too. So anyway, these are really, really nice quality with the handles and all the attachments. So a lot of times if you get a $50 or $60 wax pot, they're not going to be quite as nice as these in quality. Let me see if there's any other. Oh, hi Lisa. Hi everybody again. Instead of doing posts, I'm really loving the live feature. So when I get an arrival now of something I'm playing with, you know, at my warehouse, or you know, anywhere that we're getting the new exciting things, I'm just gonna hop on live and talk about them and try to give you guys a lot more fun discounts and giveaways and things like that with these posts that might only be for 48 hours. So keep an eye out, because if you've been waiting a long time to buy a sugar warmer, now is the perfect time to get a discount. Now we have another order on its way, but I only have 10 of these that I brought into stock in the first shipment, but I have a feeling with this special we might sell a few more than that. Normally we get them kind of freshly made from the factory so that they're not sitting around a long time. My daughter is watching me. She wants to be a spa girl when she grows up. So she's going to head off to bed. Good night, sweetie. She was at the beginning of the video. You should go back and watch later how we inspire our little girls with what we do. So I've been heating this sugar but not long enough. So I think what I'm going to have to do, hopefully we can get it up to some of the good temperatures to kind of show it as a wax. But I have the original in here, which is going to be for hot, sticky body parts. The other thing that you're going to do with this warmer is if you have firm paste or your original, you know, it's winter time and it gets snowy or something like that where you are, you want to make sure you keep some of your sugar warmed for mixing if that's easier for you. All of our sugars are designed to be cold as a base product, but sometimes under certain conditions I even warm paste just for dipping and mixing, or we use our sugar when we're waxing, strip waxing, and so you can use the warmer. Excuse me, lost me there for a second. I hope nobody has trouble getting reconnected to see me. So we have another question. Let's see. I went in to pick up your sugar. In love. So easy to work with. Super excited to pick up sugaring. I'm going to pull this up on my little computer I have set up next to me because I have the camera set up so you can actually see my table this time. And I have a giant SMA. So if you missed building your wax, it's a sugar warmer, so it was designed for sugar waxing and heating up sugar paste. And remember that it's ultra low temperature. The temperatures need to be not wax temperatures, they need to be closer to paraffin temperatures is how sugar does best heated, even warm sugars. So let's see here. I'm going to make sure I can keep up with the questions on my feed over here, because I can't read you what you guys are saying from that far away, as funny as that sounds. You can get this on the website. I'm seeing one in the comments. I think the comments actually come through on the live feed quicker, so I can sort of see them. Alright, so we went through prep and kind of finishing products. What I'm trying to do is get my sugar to warm up enough, which I set it in here, but not far enough ahead if we're all familiar with, you know, when we have to switch out a sugar or heat up wax. So I'm going to turn it way up, so this is a trick. I'm going to turn it way up and try to get it quickly to the temperature that we need so we can see it. So here's one of the boxes that is not opened. So this is how your warmer is going to come, okay? And remember, I'm doing a little special for 48 hours. And of our products, what you can use in a warmer like this, especially if you're waxing with sugar, remember not to call sugar waxing sugaring. You're going to have clients that will be pretty upset if they've been sugaring and they're addicted to sugaring, and you say that you're sugaring with and you're actually heating the sugar and using it like wax with strips. That is not sugaring. So that's actually really, really important, so you can keep kind of the trust and integrity, you know, of your business going with clients who are familiar with sugaring. So these are our other pastes. What would you do with these in a warmer? The soft can be heated into a strip wax for larger areas and conditions where you're not hot and sweaty, or this formula can get really runny on someone who's super sweaty. Remember, with your prep and your finishing products, you're doing it exactly like when you're sugaring. So watch my other webinars about that. And also, you know, sugar warmers are really important with whatever sugar you're working with. The warm sugars, you're really going to rely on a warmer. I have had people heat our paste at ultra low temperatures. By the way, I completely redid our sugaringprofessional.com website. Please go check that out because I have a lot of new information. The chart of waxing versus sugaring, or should I say sugaring versus waxing, cold versus warm. Everything is on there in the About Sugaring section. We've been meaning to do that a long time. All of our videos are updated as well, so it's really exciting. Be sure to check out sugaringprofessional.com this week because everything has changed and made it much easier for you to interact, learn. I'm going to put the webinars, all of them will be up there tonight. So if you need a quick reference, it's probably easier not to go direct to YouTube, but to go to where the videos are organized on our website. So this video will be there as well, because this is all about warming paste, because it gets confusing. So what would you do with the soft? Again, I said you would wax, you know, with this product typically. Remember that in between services, this one is finally warming up for me now, but it's not at the temperature where I can show you the temperature that it needs to be when you're waxing with it. Or you can keep original heated under conditions where your room is super freezing for some reason. It's really cold, like 60 to 65, hopefully not less than that, but if it was, where you get into trouble sometimes with sugar is overnight. It gets really cold. So the soft is going to be large areas, non-sweaty bodies, non-humid rooms. If you have sweaty areas, sweaty bodies, humid room, hot room, you're going to wax with original, which is one of the main reasons we have the warmer, is because we do have a lot of spas that use our sugar as strip wax, but we have way more that are sugaring with it. So what do you do with this warmer when you're sugaring? And this is really important to go over because I think it's something we don't get into the detail of a lot of times in the first day of learning sugaring. So firm sugar, you want to keep warmed during sugaring for easy grabbing and mixing. I actually like grabbing it cold as a preference over heating it. Some of my estheticians at my own spa, they prefer to grab the heated firm and mix it with their original because it's so firm. I like to pinch out a little piece cold and mix it because it starts out even colder. But you can find your preference, and whatever your preference is okay. So let's see. The original, the only reason you would warm it is if you have a really, really strong preference towards warm sugar. Remember that our sugar is still going to function with all of the benefits of cold sugar. To read more about that, go to the About Sugaring section on sugaringprofessional.com and pull up cold versus warm sugaring, and I talk a little bit in there about how even if you heat our paste at ultra low temps because you're used to warm sugar, it still performs like cold sugar. And cold sugar, I believe, is really going to be the formula of the future. And I think once everyone gets more education on understanding how it functions and why you get additional benefits sugaring with it. Also, most sugaring formulas that I took from other companies and tried to wax with it, it was a disaster because the formulas were not the same as cold. So cold is one of the only pastes that's actually truly compatible with heating it into wax and having it be a dual formula. I tried to do this again with multiple companies. I would call in and say, you know, we rarely do waxing, but if we do, I'd like it to be sugar. And they'd say, well, try our soft as wax. We have accounts that do that. I tried it and it was a no-go. It was a no-go because the formula wasn't the same as cold sugar. Since cold sugar is ideally used when it's not heated, when you heat it, it becomes a perfect strip wax. And then you can heat, again, like I said, if you need some easier grabbing situations. I don't recommend heating the original that much because you're going to make it too runny if you're not careful. So you need some experience to know, you know, what's going on here with the sugar pastes and where the temperatures are that you need to heat them before you go crazy with it. Do a lot of experimenting. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, great. So Natasha, go ahead and go to the link up at the top. I did this to give you guys a surprise special too. We have another special going on only for the next 2 or 3 weeks if you buy a case of sugar, and that coupon code, I'm going to send out our professional newsletter. For some reason it went to the wrong list. It went to our clients somehow, a little blooper on our part. So we need to send out our professional newsletter in the next 24 hours. You'll see that if you're one of our estheticians, and look in that email because there's a case discount. It's SugarLove, all lowercase, SugarLove case, and if you put that in with a case of sugar, you actually get, I think we set it at 10% off, which is a pretty big discount. It makes each tub $19.72, which is really cheaper than any sugars that are out there. So it's an awesome deal right now. Now we're cooking more sugar on Friday because of this big case deal. We've already sold a lot of cases. So if you are just ordering your case now, please expect the shipping to be by Saturday or Tuesday. We actually have somebody helping us sometimes on Monday, but I don't like to say that's one of our official shipping days. But he'll probably be working on those on Monday and Tuesday. So we're selling a lot of sugar. We doubled our production this month, and we still sold through it faster than we expected. I mean, we're making over 2,000 pounds of sugar a month, and so every time you get a batch of sugar, it's totally fresh. It was probably cooked within days of your delivery. And then we take each tub, and you can see they have a batch number. We make a list of the batch numbers, and we do testing with multiple estheticians before the sugars go out. So I talked a little bit about that last night. A lot of companies maybe don't do that quality control, therefore you can get a sugar batch that's way off. We do everything we can to prevent that, but every now and then we've had a rare situation where some jars got stamped with the wrong number, you know, just funny stuff like that. But typically our testing process is really solid, so you'll get consistent sugar all the time. But remember, it's a myth when a company tells you that their sugar is exactly the same every time. If you're familiar with working with cooking sugar in any form, you can get a consistent result, but you're going to have ever so slight variations for a lot of different reasons that I won't get into because it's complicated. Let's see. Do you hold the skin taut as you do with wax? Absolutely. You want to anchor the skin always, whether you're paste sugaring, waxing. Some of my demos I'm working on myself, and I cannot you know, grow an extra arm and pull my skin tight. So look at my video training section, or I might have said training videos, on sugaringprofessional.com, and watch what I do with anchoring and also pattern. You know, you want to look at the grid in which you need to work on each area. We're making brand new videos for every single body part, waxing and sugaring, this year. So they're going to come out one by one, and we're also covering videos that we didn't cover very well because finally, you know, we're getting all of our equipment to do that. So I'm kind of waiting. Yay! All right. We finally have our original heated up here. So I've turned this way up, but what you need to do is typically, I need to experiment a little bit more, but I think when we tested these, that for waxing we set them on a 3.5 or around a 3 to a 4. That could change depending on how cold the room is, you know, and how hot the room is on the other hand. So this is the consistency that sugar should be when you're waxing with it. Oh gosh, I've got a black dress on, so you can't see that. So it should be sort of runny, see? Like a wax. This is for when you're waxing with it. Heated at ultra low temperatures. If you're just warming it a little for mixing purposes or because you like warm sugar, you don't want to turn it into strip wax by heating it too much, and you don't want to, you do want it to be strip wax if you're waxing with it. But this is the consistency when you're waxing. Now let me show you on my skin. You don't need a lot of wax when you're laying it down unless you're on a large body. See how much is on there? You use very little of this. It's amazing. My skin is already prepped and it's been gone over 1 million times the last few days, but we're gonna spread this puppy on so you can see when it's warm. It's really quick, actually. So this is the original consistency. Remember that if the original seems too firm in certain situations, you want to keep the soft around too. Now I can't anchor my skin, just repeat that. And I did not put my gloves on, but I would always have gloves on for a client because there's nothing here that I'm touching that I'm going to ruin for anybody else. This is my setup. This is my little setup that it's not for spa use. So we can still keep going on this strip. I want to show you now, don't double dip, and I got to put this back in here or it's going to lose its consistency. So you want to move quick with the initial application. And this sugar can build up on a strip like, you know, there's other companies that have some natural waxes that you can really build up a lot of wax on the strip. You can definitely do that with SugarLove when you're waxing with it. This will reduce the pain by 50 to 70% just because it's a sugar. So it's pretty amazing. And I'm just thinking now, I totally forgot last night during the webinar I was going to announce and let everybody know that that case deal is going on for the next couple weeks, and to get on it and get your case because it's only $19.79 HR getting the case. And remember that we're going to get a lot of case orders, so we have to cook sugar fresh on Friday is the day. We made extra to prepare for this, and we've blown through all of our sugar. So as we go through these next growth phases, please hang in there. Sugar is something we produce locally, in-house in our own warehouse and lab, so we can get it cooked quick. And I realize that you guys can't do services, you know, if we ever don't have the hair removal products. So we keep those hair removal products stocked, you know, because we don't want anyone to suffer and not be able to use their product on their clients. All right. So I'm not right-handed, but just for the sake of showing you, and something happened here on this side, because this isn't my usual hand. This is too thick right here. This is too thick. So you can go back with sugar, which you can't. A lot of times with soft wax, if you do this, it times out really, really fast. Sugar doesn't time out. The only thing that'll mess with sugar is if a client's really, really sweaty. Let's see. Oh, someone's trying to get a warmer and the price isn't dropping when they put in the coupon code. I actually have it pulled up right here, so let me make sure that the coupon code should be in there. The coupon is all caps, warmer in all caps with 10 on the end. So make sure you do it exactly the way that it's listed. So I've done a lot of this arm, and now I'm going to another arm. Have you noticed I'm on the same strip, and look how thin that sugar is. It builds up, but you apply it so thin compared to other waxes that you're going to use way, way less supplies, you know, with this stuff. So let me double check not to stop for too long here. I keep my computer set up now for our live. Yeah, the coupon is successfully in there, and it's for the sugar warmer. So if you continue to have trouble, PM me and I'll try to put the order through for you after we do this video, okay? All right. So, are there any other questions that everybody has? How do I know if my heater is good for sugar or if I should buy the one that's specific for sugar? Would you know? You'll know because it won't go to low enough temperatures. So if it's not heating it low and it's too hot and melty, let's say, when you're trying to sugar or wax with it, like the GG warmer, that's one I've tested, for example, not compatible. So if you have any doubt and you want one you can rely on for a long time, I purchased, when I was sugaring. I purchased the ones that were for sugar because they're more of a paraffin warmer, but we have a double wax warmer in one of our rooms, and it's high quality and it goes to really, really low temps. So I don't want to turn anyone away from their regular warmer, you know, and make them buy another one if you have a perfectly good warmer that might even have a double warming capability, which is something we're looking for in the sugar form, which means you could keep some firm warmed and some original, or you could keep some soft and original warmed if you do a lot of waxing. So that's pretty nice. Otherwise, you can get two of these guys if you've got that situation going on. Hi, Victoria. Oh, Natasha says thank you. Hopefully you figured it out. It might have been the all caps with the warmer code. And is it the new free warmer? There's a lot of, remember, there was a big discussion going on in another group that really intrigued me, because we've got estheticians that own companies that produce a lot of machines specifically. Now, remember when you buy from a company, that what you're going for is you want training. You know, these have a 1-year warranty. Sometimes we try to go on Amazon or here or there or look for something that's the same. China and overseas companies that actually make these, if something's popular, they're sort of famous for making knockoffs. So the inner components are going to be what are going to break down really early. This is not from the manufacturer of New Free, but this is a you know, this is a similar model to a couple companies. I know the melting pot kind of looks like this, but maybe not this size. So this is a 32-ounce sugar warmer so that it fits the jar, you know, perfectly. I can't touch the metal because it's really hot right now. And then also the fact that this compartment is separate, it sort of gives you, not quite like a double boiler, but if you know in cooking when you're doing chocolate or something like that, this is a good idea to have versus it going directly into the bed, because it puts a barrier between the true heating element. Therefore, it heats everything more evenly, more consistently, especially if you're trying to get those perfect low temps. Ashley says, how do I know if I should get the original or firm? If you're starting to sugar, oops, I stuck to my own strip there. What do you know? Getting sugar on myself. That's okay. I like it. Another thing that's fun when you have a new client, and this is good to go over, is this was not made for as a food. So I joked during training, do not tell your client to put this on their pancakes in the morning. This was not designed to be a food. It doesn't taste as good as it would if it was designed to be a food. The soft is the tastiest of the formulas. So if you ever want your little one, like my little girl was on camera earlier, or your client, you know, this is food grade, USDA certified lemon juice and sugar. So we don't certify our sugar, but the ingredients we use are food grade and they're USDA certified, because that was really important. So you can taste a tiny little bit. This is going to taste sweet, lemony, but it's also kind of smoky tasting. And a lot of sugar pastes are like that. So they're not the tastiest thing to eat sometimes, but you can kind of show a client as a way to get them excited that it's literally edible, even though it's not the tastiest. We might send some cute little lollipops or something for you guys to use as a promotion that are organic, that have our branding on them. I'm looking for a company we can work with that makes the lollipops in a kitchen that's made for foods. so that you can do a cool promotion. Let's see. I have the Satin Smooth warmer. I think the GG Satin Smooth and Clean and Easy, we've had trouble with those. Sometimes because they're a little bit on the more affordable side when you buy them. Let's see. Natasha. There's no add to cart feature for the warmer. Ah, all right. Let me fix the warmer right now then. I wonder, I had put this product in there yesterday, and I checked it, so that's funny. But if I can't do this real quick on video, then I will do this after I'm done. So anyway, remember that this is going to taste really smoky, but that's kind of a way that you can show clients, you know, how natural that it really is and organic. Hi, Rachel. Let's see. Megan says, I love this. I'll be in touch. You know, it's my passion to get everybody excited about sugar because I worked really hard, you know, early in my career to be the best at hair removal I could possibly be. And sugar was able to take everything to a level that I never even imagined was possible before I knew what it was, because it differentiates your business so much. I mean, whether you're waxing with it or sugaring with it, remember to differentiate. I already said this, but do not call sugar waxing sugaring. But if you're waxing and you're not ready to sugar yet, or you're keeping both services, please switch over to an organic, biodegradable, healthy product, you know, for your clients. Let's see. Oh, someone's saying not for Australia. We do ship internationally, but sometimes we have to take the orders over Skype, private message, or do them over the phone because we set our store to not put the same shipping costs. The shipping is very costly, and it has to be a lot of times through DHL internationally because the methods where the shipping takes longer, they actually lose a lot of packages and stuff like that. So we didn't want to deal with that. I don't have my little water. I don't have my little water container here, so I'm doing what I always say not to do, spraying it on the wipe. But I sprayed extra, so you'll use a lot more product too if you're not soaking your wipe. My arms, I was starting to feel that I had done hair removal, so I needed to wipe them down. So remember, with a client, you always have gloves on. The only reason I'm not wearing them, and I have them right here, which is silly, is because it's me and I got talking and just wanted to show everything to you guys. So does anyone have any more questions? If you missed everything from the beginning, go back to the beginning. I'm going to be doing a lot of surprise live posts. We have like a little studio for me set up to do this easily where I can kind of turn everything on. This seems like a much more fun and interactive way to communicate to everyone, because I was spending a lot of time writing thoughtful, you know, posts and things for education, and I'd much rather just hop on live and talk to you guys about it and have you ask me questions, because I spend a lot less time too answering everyone, and then it feels like we're sitting in the room together, which is how I want it to be. I have so many fans now from YouTube. It's still kind of surreal because I started on YouTube 2 years ago, so I've been looking for a way that we can do all this live. Let me check for more questions before I go. Let's see. Oh, what is the feeling I was feeling on my arms? That's a great question. So that feeling is if you don't clean off their skin afterwards, then what's going to happen is there's going to be residue of glycolic acid and lemon juice, and then the follicles are raw, you know, and they're in a state of minor trauma for 48 hours. So if you do not do the finishing steps, this actually drives me nuts in our industry. I have always done an oil barrier after waxing. I've always done some kind of antiseptic step. I think it's important to kill the bacteria, to lower the histamine, and to, most of all, prevent ingrowns. Super important. So you want to make sure you soak your 4x4 with water, spray the skin with the toner, and they're going to feel either itchy or they're going to start feeling kind of tingly. It's not a great feeling if you leave the residue on, because it's like, you know, lemon juice in a cut. It's like eating away at the follicle. So you can explain that to clients why you do the finishing steps, that it's also because they produce sweat and bacteria during the service, and that'll go straight into the follicles. Something else the elixir does, the 10% oxygen plus sunflower elixir, is the right balance of oxygen that they can use it not only daily, but this stays active for 12 hours after the service. So the oxygen actively prevents, you know, contamination from sweat and bacteria in the follicles. It prevents it all day long, even if they go out in the south, let's say, and it's, you know, swampy outside, as I like to say. You need something that's preventing problems, you know, when they're leaving, or say hello to a big crop of ingrowns for a reason that's hard to identify if you're not paying attention to those kinds of things. And, oh, hi, Jenny. Let's see. So, Dana says, I'm going to go soon, so please ask questions if you have them. So you use straight SugarLove in the warmer, or do you add anything to it? No. You put the tub. Oh, this is another big question I almost forgot. Oh my God. These tubs are rated for 240 degrees. If for some reason your warmer melts a hole in the bottom, or it melts this container, your sugar, your warmer, our warmers have never done that, but which companies did? And this was just a bum warmer. It was like one that came off the production line, and it was a lemon. But it was a clean and easy, I think, warmer, and an esthetician, only one in over 2 years of being national, called and said, my jar, it melted a tiny little hole in the bottom. And I freaked out and said, throw that warmer away. I know you're new. I know you're just getting started, but return it, throw it away. It's dangerous. It's definitely a fire hazard if any little spot is going to over 240 degrees. That's scary. These are supposed to only heat, you know, into the hundreds range, not 240 degrees. So, let's see. And Desiree says, soak the 4x4 and spray after sugaring. Right, spray the skin. We're going to have pump bottles that I'm having a label made, so it's real professional looking. That's just, it'll say SugarLove distilled water bottle. And you can put distilled, purified, or highly filtered water in your pump bottle, and you just pump water onto your wipe, give it a squeeze. You've already sprayed with the toner, and then you dissolve all of your sugar, okay? And make sure if you're seeing a lot of residue, like it's really, really yellow and orange, flip the wipe around, and just in case, give that area another wipe, because that residue is where the lemon juice and glycolic is. That's going to potentially sort of burn or eat away at their follicles. A lot of sugars, too, are GMO based. A lot of sugars, besides our organic paste, made my skin very, very itchy. And I'm super reactive to GMOs, and it didn't even occur to me because I was so excited about how natural sugaring was. This was years ago, before my company. But when I used other sugars, it started to kind of alarm me, you know, that I was feeling so itchy, and then I connected all the dots and realized, well, there's GMOs, which means a lot of pesticides and irritants and things that we are absorbing. So you want to make sure if you're doing this to go natural and organic that you do ask the company questions. If you're not going with us, make sure that you get an answer if the sugar is GMO. You know it's not if it's organic, and there are other organic pastes, but you're not going to find anything like our formula out there, no matter what they tell you. I've had, now that we've put cold sugaring on the map. So now that we've done that, other companies are trying to say they have cold paste, but it's actually their soft sugar, which is nothing like cold paste. It could be technically in some ways used like cold paste, but when you have 3 different formulas to choose from, and then you've got the original as your base formula, it's completely different. It's I created warm pastes when I created the cold paste, and to have a true cold line, you needed a whole line of sugars. So if they're going to do it, more power to them, but they need to create a line that's a separate cold paste line. It's just too different, the formulas. So Erin, hi Erin, I'm still looking for extra, extra small. I'm actually I'm an amazing sourcer of things, if you can't tell. We have the 2x2s and 4x4s. I'll put those in the store too, and they're going to be cheap. They're going to be much cheaper than a lot of the supply houses. I never bring anything in unless we can be one of the most affordable. So you know if you're buying supplies from us, you're getting a good deal. I won't even bring in sometimes the ones that are more expensive, because I think it just causes us to expend, more money, and that's time and energy. So extra, extra small or XXXX small, I'm going to have those produced. I'm actually in the process of looking for that. We're not anywhere near selling them yet, but I am looking to get our own gloves made. Not only that, but preferably biodegradable, nitrile when we do that. And I have plans for something else that I have to keep a secret that is going to be along the supplies line. That's something that we've never seen. So I will get those done as soon as I can. Let's see. And Jamie says, how do you choose between soft, original, and firm? Is soft more for waxing? Soft is an excellent choice for waxing, but again, if your room is really hot, your clients are really sweaty, and the soft seems runny for you when you test it, then go to the original. It's really important. Sometimes also people will have trouble with the soft. When it gets too gooey, it'll kind of fling around off of the strip when you're waxing. If that's happening, it probably means you need to shift over to the original for strip waxing. And you're not going to get anything better than organic sugar for strip waxing. But remember that there's small tweaks. It's not rocket science. There are small tweaks that you need to know before you can succeed. Like, you cannot put an oil barrier down like you do with some waxes. You cannot put oil on the skin as your prep. You have to prep like sugaring, because sugar is still sugar, even when it's used as wax. Let's see. How do you choose? Oh, no, we got that one. Got one more question from Desiree. When you wax with sugar, do you go in the same direction as regular waxing? Yes, you do. I tested the other way, thinking it would actually be better for some reason, because sugar is so good when you go go the opposite direction of wax, if I'm making sense right now. But when you're waxing with sugar, you use your old waxing technique as far as the same direction that you would with any other wax. Does that make sense? So, all right. I don't see any more questions. This is really fun going live. I have a feeling I'll have a whole studio set up and have other estheticians come in sometimes. So if you're in the Bay Area and you have a company as well, and it's something that and it could be another sugarist or anything, but I'm looking to bring in a lot of amazing education and fun deals and giveaways and things that we can try in the near future in the group. Our groups are so amazing. I can't believe how much love there's always been in the groups compared to, just being out in the world. I thought it would be a lot trickier. So, all right, let's take one more look at our sugar here. Yeah, so this is just about perfect. So in this room, that's at 3.5. You might go as high as 4.5 if your room's really cold. But remember that your sugar, when you're waxing with it, it needs to be runny enough that you can make it really, really thin. Now, it needs to be cooler than this if you're just heating it so that you can mix different sugars together more easily. I don't recommend heating the original too much unless your room is freezing. But I do recommend, some estheticians really prefer heating our firm because they have trouble pinching out a piece. I have no trouble pinching out a piece, and I like to pinch out a piece cold with the firm. But that's a great one to heat when sugaring paste method. Hi Lisa. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm having a great time doing these, and I really appreciate everyone's continued support. I've known some of my estheticians since I started. They watched me from birth of the company, and everyone's given me so much love, and I appreciate it. I can't imagine my life without everyone now. All right, love you guys. I'm gonna try to find my little, I actually have a little clicker that I lost. Otherwise, I'm gonna reach up and finish up here. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful night.